Does that work?
Looks like it works.
Well, I hear you fine. Sounds like it works. I guess it's time to do the works.
Trash Talk Radio. Coming at you live on MP3 from high on a hill above beautiful Lake Washington. My name is Lestro, and with me, as always, is the Guru.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
And you know how this goes. We're here to talk a little trash on the week's worth of sports. I don't know anybody except the Guru, and the Guru knows all.
Man, I know just a little something, man. Just a little something, man.
Guru, it is episode number 95, and we've got another packed show as the NFL season is rounding the first turn. The contenders are separating from the pretenders, and we've got Alameda of Alameda Views calling to help us look at who's real and who's fake in both conferences, and who's the front runner for the Super Bowl at this point. But first, the first axe falls as Jay Gruden gets the old heave-ho in D.C., and you know Guru's got some thoughts on that. Then, the Almanac calls us for the campus check-in to preview the Red River rivalry and the big LSU-Florida game this weekend. Plus, give us the Almanac poll top 10. Then we've got Guru's call-outs and shout-outs, our Week 6 preview, and you know we got a 2-minute drill. Guru, episode number 95.
Let's roll.
Guru, that is a big show again this week, man.
Loaded, man. It's a loaded show, man. That's how we do it over here at TTR.
That's how we do it on TTR. Good to see you, my man. How you doing?
Man, I am living the dream. Don't you pinch me, man. Don't you pinch me.
Now we missed a week here. We had some illnesses, some technical difficulties, some scheduling problems all across the board.
Basically a bunch of excuses.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of excuses fall in our lap that we missed. But it is good to see you. Did you have a good weekend this weekend?
Absolutely. I had a great weekend, man. I had an absolutely wonderful weekend. You know what? I watched the game. It was kind of funny, man. So we went out. I think me and the lady went out. Did we go out? Yeah, we did go out, right? And then I taking some beverages for alcoholic.
Of course.
For alcohol beverages that I like to partake because I'm legal of age.
Of course.
Of course. And you know,
we are here in a legal state.
But I was good at this. You know, I was better with this time. I let her, because we Ubered it, nobody was driving, so she took advantage of that because I knew she was gonna be passed out till about 1 in the West Coast where we're at. When you pass out till 1, that means I get a chance to watch all basically of the early game of the football game. And last week there was 10. There was only 2 or 3 4 o'clock games. Like the majority of it was 10 o'clock game for us. So I had a great time, basically. Long story short.
Nice, man. That's pretty good. I had one of those moments this weekend. Lil Lestro and I had our first game of catch. I know it sounds stupid because he's almost 2 years old. But I had the football game on, and when he was watching it was either football or baseball. I don't remember which, but he says throw, and he gets a ball. So he got a little red ball out, and he threw it to me, and it rolled to my feet, and I picked it up, and I threw it back, and he threw it back to me, and this went back and forth like 3 times. Then he got bored and wandered off and played with trains. But that counts, right?
Dude, you know the thing? I think every father has his son that has a red ball. Like,
always.
You can't be in this house.
Yeah.
You can't have a son. You can't have a child
without
a ball being red or a blue ball.
Yeah, probably both. We have all over the house, but we got but playing catch with him. This was one of those first, like, he's not going to remember it, but you know, like, hey, that was it. That 3 times back and forth, but that counts, man. I'm counting that.
Did he catch it?
No, it rolled to his feet.
Absolutely.
He threw it, but you know.
Yeah, you caught it.
I tried. Exactly. We're getting there. I chased it. Let's say, okay, so the baby played fetch with me this weekend is really what happened. All right, fine. All right, fine. All right, Guru. Well, we want to get into the show here because, like I said, it is just packed. And I know the first thing you want to talk about, you've been itching to go on this, is your man down there in D.C., Jay Gruden, finally got the axe, making some changes. The first axe to fall this year in the NFL. Jay Gruden fired. Guru, go.
Yeah, this was expected. This is like saying what's going to happen at the end of the Titanic.
Yeah.
You know, we are everyone and their mother, even the mama that didn't know sports. Even my mama, man, who could barely be speaking this language be like, man, we going to fire Jay Gruden.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're not. She like, yes, we are. And yeah, damn it, we did. It wasn't a matter of are we going to fire Jay or not. The question was, when are we going to do it? And we did. And the crazy thing is, I kind of feel bad for Jay Gruden, but he does. Nobody deserves to get fired, but you do deserve to, for an organization to make changes if things are not happening. And for whatever the situation is, I think it's bigger than Jay Gruden.
Yeah,
I think
it is.
It's just the casualty. It don't help when his overall record was what was it? 35 and like 49. So that didn't help.
Was it that good?
Yeah, right. One playoff appearance, and they lost, with that Kirk Cousins at time. When Kirk Cousins stole that check because of that damn playoff season. But anyhow, I think it was better for Jay. This is better for Jay. I think Jay needs to get out of this Washington Redskin circle.
I think everybody needs to get out of that Washington Redskins circle.
I don't say egg on. This is not the time to egg on the Washington Redskins. Blah, blah, blah. But what I'm saying is,
yes, this is exactly the time.
It's time for Jay to go meet his brother so they could have some little family situation because John is doing a little bit better over there, man. John got 8 more years left. 8 more years, so he got some time. So, and I don't think Jay's a good offensive coordinator. I've seen worse offensive coordinators. There's worse offensive coordinators in the league currently. I don't know who the hell the offensive coordinator is for the Bills, but I know Jay Gruden is better than him. I don't know who the Titans offensive coordinator is, but Jay Gruden is better than them. Just put it like that. There's some offensive coordinators Jay Gruden is better than in the league, so he will land in his feet. But if I was him, I would wait till next year after Dan Snyder keep paying me, before I land in this, take that money, take a year off, refresh, go to Oakland, chill with your big bro, and enjoy life in Vegas, man.
First of all, there is never not a time to bash on the Redskins because that is a problem from the top. That is Dan Snyder. He's the problem there and always will be. But what's going on in DC, not necessarily Gruden's fault, but had to go. The question is, what does this mean going forward? Now, a lot of this was centered around not a lot of this. I mean, this team is not good, but there were some questions over the future for Haskins and whether to play him and not. And what does this mean for him and the team going forward? And also, how do you set up another coach for this? Who steps into this job?
What? I love what's going on.
Why would anybody? They're the worst. They're like the Knicks. They're like it's terrible.
It takes a different type of guy, and Dan Snyder got to take it. He got to, for this to work, for whoever the new coach going to come in. I'm going to, in a little bit tell you who I feel should be. But before a new coach even get there, there got to be some organizational structural change. It starts from the top, like you said. We can't fire the owner. We can't impeach the owner. Unfortunately, I know we like to impeach in D.C., but we can't impeach this guy. So in a sense, he has to realize that Bruce Allen is not the guy. We got to delegate some other stuff for Bruce Allen to do. Yes, you get worried about the ticket sales. You worried about how the stadium look. That's what you need to worry about, Bruce Allen. You don't need to be around no player personnel type of decision making. That's number one. That's how we start out with, because it's going to be the same old circus, same old cycle. Being a Washington Redskins fan for over 20-something years, man, is the same since Dan Snyder got the team 1999-2000. It's been the same cycle, man. Coaches getting fired. The quarterbacks coming. I've seen this before from the Marty Schottenheimer. Every time we get a strong-minded coach, he get rid of him. Every time we get a clown coach, he get rid of him. Every time we get a Super Bowl coach, he get rid of him. We just get rid of people. That's what he's doing. You know what? Forget Donald Trump, man. He should have his own celebrity show, man. You know what I'm saying? Just firing coach. If you got fired, that's what he got. That's what he does, man. Just fire coaches. So, and too bad none of us could fire his ass, but you got to switch that up, man. You got to do something. Bruce Allen ain't the guy. Until that is resolved, this is always going to be the same cycle. And I don't care if it's Haskins. I don't care if it's the next Lawrence. I don't care if it's Tua. It's a recipe for failure in D.C.
I think it's a recipe because it is Snyder. He's like Steinbrenner was in the 80s. He's firing guys. He's got the bad mix. He's got his hands in everything. That team, people forget the Yankees in the 90s. The reason they rise the way they did is because Steinbrenner was forced by law not to be part of the team. He was not allowed to deal with operations, and they were able to build up a team that eventually became the juggernaut Yankees that we think of. It's the same thing. I think DC, the problem there is Snyder, and I think it's always going to be because he's a meddlesome and short-sighted. But that said, someone's going to have to coach this team. The fans do expect something. They've got a bright young light in Haskins. We want to see what he can do. Gruden was not putting him out there. Let's get him some reps. I say we get him some reps. I don't know where you're on this one. Let's get him some reps out there. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt, but let's get him to see some action and let him see, something. What happens with Haskins, and who do you think should coach this team?
It's a mess right now. In this situation, I don't even want to put Haskins in this. I don't want this type of experience.
Understandable,
there's a certain experience. I don't want to go through the experience of getting abused in the house, doing this and that. There's certain experiences you don't want. You know what I mean? It's not a good experience. Put it like that. And Haskins in a situation where there is no father, there is no coach, there is no structure, there's no direction right now. So this is a recipe for failure for a young guy who's looking for that leadership, who's looking for that culture, who's looking for something like that we don't have in D.C. So, yes, him playing is a recipe for failure at this time. Man, Callahan is a coach, man. You talking about Callahan? Come on, man.
All right,
Come on, man.
So who should be this coach?
There's the game. There's a game in between the game. And what's going on right now is funny. It's been coming out in the media a little bit. Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin.
Current
coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin.
Current coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Contract situation over there in Pittsburgh. Not only that, man, we could all see things are not working over there in Pittsburgh.
Well, that's damn sure.
We could all see that is not, and it's not going to get any better.
That doesn't seem that way either.
That team don't have it. That team is not going to be better next year. It's not going to be. That is not the team. So this is a great situation for a guy like Mike Tomlin, he's from Virginia, who has family in the D.C. area, in the DMV, who has relations. He has a lot of reasons for being the DMV. If Dan Snyder could get out of his own way, and I'm talking about galvanizing the area. I'm talking about with the DMV. I'm a proud native of the DMV. You have a mind, a guy. You could sell this to even a guy like me. You could sell this to the community. You could sell this because it's all about selling it. You lost us. One thing I could say is Mike Tomlin, you give him the GM role. You make him the head coach and the GM. Let him take care of all the personnel because we know Mike Tomlin knows how to get personnel. He's a hell of a coach. And one thing is he's good with the media. He's not going to embarrass us. Mike Tomlin don't get embarrassed. Now we could have someone there, and he's a character guy. So now we can start building a culture with a proven guy. And you can sell that to everyone in the area, and we will buy tickets to go watch the Washington Redskins instead of selling that ticket. If Dan Snyder if he's listening to this shit,
he is, Dan.
Danny boy. You know what I'm saying? You forgot to send that check last month. But I'm telling you this right now. Go ahead, man. Give everything you got. We all know Tomlin don't want to be in Pittsburgh no more, bro. It's just not working. He's going to have his first losing season in Pittsburgh this year. And it's going to be like that next year. Losing AB and Bell is significant. And Big Ben is not getting younger.
Not at all.
Not at all. And Tomlin and this is Chocolate City, baby. It just fits smoothly. It fits perfectly. And this is how you expedite from being the laughing stock of the league to being actually a credible organization in one stroke.
You know what? That's a hell of a pick. That makes a lot of sense, Guru. You start pulling a guy like Tomlin if Snyder can get out of the way. Now it only works with a guy like Tomlin that you can trust to give the reins to. You can trust on both sides, and that could stand up to Snyder. And Tomlin's a guy that might be able to do that as well and hold him away and know how to do that. Working with Rooney out in Pittsburgh, another strong owner in a completely different way. That's a great pick. We'll see what happens there. I like to see that. As you said, the Steelers not having the season that they had hoped or that a lot of people predicted. So let's get into this here. We're talking to our man Alameda from Alameda Views is joining us here. We're gonna bring him in to talk a little bit about the NFL, where they are right now, because Snyder's not the only thing going on. There's actual football teams still playing real football. So let's do our check in here on the quarter pole of the season and bring in our Alameda from Alameda Views. All right, back on Trash Talk Radio with our man Alameda from the Alameda Views Instagram account.
Yep.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, man. I'm excited. You guys want to have me on, and let's get right to it, bro.
Yeah, man, I like this guy, man. I like this young fellow, man. He's a good kid. I spotted him out there. You know, the Guru got talent for
You're always out
sportscasting.
scouting, man.
I'm always scouting sports guys, man.
Yep.
And this guy, Alameda, be throwing some gangster shit. I'm like, you know what? We got to get him on Trash Talk Radio so I can hear him talk some trash, boy, because this kid could talk some shit.
Oh, man. Hell yeah, man. I'm excited. I love you guys' passion and energy, and let's get right into it, bro. Let's go.
Find him on Alameda_views on Instagram. He's your favorite 17-year-old sports analyst. All right, so we got you here because we're talking about the quarter pole of the season. You know what I mean? We've rounded it. It's week 5 is behind us. All the teams have been through at least 4 games. We started to see who's out, who the contenders are, and who the pretenders are. So let's just get right into it. Guru, I know you want to start with the AFC. You've been itching at this, so go for it, man.
Oh, man, the AFC right now, as we all know, is a two-headed monsters. There's 2 teams right now in the clubhouse in the AFC, and they're battling each other right now. It's the 2 teams versus the field. But in the NFL, any given Sunday, there's always somebody lurking. There's always somebody lurking. Obviously, we have the Pats as the number 1 seed, the Super Bowl defending Super Bowl champions with the almighty, the legend Tom Brady. And then we have the Chiefs, the young start with the innovative offensive coordinator, but just can't get it right, Andy Reid. So you got everything going for a smash. But I also see some little teams lurking. But I want to get to my guy, Alameda over there. So maybe you might have some teams in mind that might be lurking.
Yeah. A couple teams for sure. The Texans, hear me out. The offense, the Texans, we saw absolutely exploded last week. Deshaun Watson, I have him as a top 10 quarterback in this league. The offensive line sucks. But if he had a good offensive line, he'd easily be a top 5 quarterback in the league. But besides that, the offense put up 50-something points. And if you can put up 50-something points, you can easily go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. And I think they're really one of the only teams I think that can keep up with the Patriots and the Chiefs. I have the Texans lurking right behind those 2 teams.
Oh, man, that's why great minds think alike, man. Absolutely great minds think alike. I absolutely think the addition of Larry Tunsil, that's a sneaky pick, even though I don't like how Bill O'Brien did that pick, but that was needed. Right now, they have the personnel group as far as the receivers, the defensive line, as far as even the secondary. They just have the collective pieces together. And most importantly, they have Deshaun Watson. Deshaun got that it. He's a winner. He has that Russell S thing with him. And I do believe he is an elite quarterback in this league. And I do think we put all that together. I do believe the Houston Texans are the sneaky, lurking team to contend versus the Pats and the Chiefs.
I'm glad you mentioned Russell Wilson because when Alameda was talking about when he gets a line in front of him, good things can happen. That's what it was the same way with Russ early in his career, and that's what he did. Was they didn't have that great line in front of him, but Russ made it happen. You got a guy that can make it happen. I think Watson can. I think top 10 is fine. All right, so that's our first top tier team, our first second tier team because everybody agrees it's the Pats and the Chiefs at the top of this, and we have all season to talk about that matchup. But I want to throw out here another team on this level. I think you got to talk about the Ravens in this, right, Guru?
I think the Ravens are a unique team in a situation. I think they're all in what they're doing with this scheme as far as Lamar Jackson, what they're trying to develop over there. So, Greg Roman, I respect Greg Roman as far as the offensive coordinator. We know what he did with Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco when they went to the Super Bowl. So he's calling outstanding plays in the Ravens. But in my opinion, right now, I don't believe the Ravens they're not complete enough. I don't think they're not complete enough to compete against the Chiefs. Obviously, we saw what the Chiefs did to him, and we know what Tom Brady could do. And I don't think they have the firepower, even though it looks good at times. They get chunk yards, but when it comes down to the playoff situations, when it comes down to when the game gets shorter at that time, and I think the Ravens don't think they have enough experience, especially in the outside guys, to really pursue and be stronger than the Pats, the Chiefs, or the Texans.
I completely agree with you. For me, the Ravens, they're a year away. Hear me out. Okay, the defense. No one's talking about this defense. It's not good. Last year, it was top 5. Top 5 defense, both the rushing defense and the passing defense. The passing defense, they're giving up the 28th, I believe, most passing yards in the NFL. 28th most passing yards. The pass defense isn't good. The rush defense is decent, but their defense, that's what's really holding them back. And the offense, for me, the whole way the Ravens work, if they get up in a game, they're easily able to beat the team. They ground and pound. Mark Ingram, Lamar Jackson. If they're in control of the game, they will win the game. But if you put them up against the Deshaun Watson-led Texans or the Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs, easily I think those teams will win. It's just the offense isn't ready. Lamar Jackson isn't ready to go toe-to-toe against these top-tier quarterbacks. That's my opinion on that.
Now, we thought this defense was going to be so much more, especially with the addition of Earl Thomas in the offseason. This was one that we thought was going to be a better team than this. But, I mean, even when you say we saw what the Chiefs did to them, they hung in there. That was not an easy game for the Chiefs by any means. And I think if this defense pulls it together, they've got a guy in Lamar Jackson who's another one of those guys that can make it happen seemingly. Now, we may be a little bit fluky. We're not sure. I don't know if I bank on him yet as a guy, but any given Sunday, I like their chances of sneaking in and maybe popping somebody.
I think the Ravens, they look good. Last year, they came and surprised people. This year, the NFC North is kind of sketchy. It's kind of sketchy right now. So because of their culture and everything, it's sketchy. So I predicted the Ravens to win the division. But frankly, I don't think they are. I think that if they out of all the division winners, even in the playoff, they will be the least.
Well, this
I think
division.
The Chargers are a better team than the Ravens. I think the only team I might pick the Ravens over will be the Bills right now as far as playoff picture.
All right, so I'm glad you said the Bills next. I mean, we're going to talk about more in the AFC North. This whole division we had bigger dreams for than it's turning out to be the case. But I was going to ask you about the Bills. Now they're one of those borderline, could be a contender, could be a pretender team. I think they're not threats to the big two. I don't think in any means. In a way that maybe the Texans are, but the Bills are they for real?
Oh, I've seen this before. It was called the 2018 Baltimore Ravens. With Lamar Jackson, I've seen it before, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get smashed in the first round. I've seen it before.
What happened to them 2 years ago too? I mean, they're able to sneak
they didn't
in.
Get smashed. They played tough, but they didn't get smashed. What do you think, Alameda?
I definitely think this team is gritty, and the defense easily is one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
What?
I love this defense.
Exactly. But Josh Allen, very inconsistent. I think he has potential to be a great quarterback the rest of his career. But this season, in the playoffs, you're telling me that you're going to take him over any of those other quarterbacks? There's no way in a playoff atmosphere.
Kid's got a point, Guru.
Josh Allen to lead this team. I don't care how good their defense plays. I'm not trusting Josh Allen to consistently beat these teams, especially in the playoffs. I can't trust it. I think they're a big-time pretender.
And like I said, they remind you guys what you just said to me, which I just heard from both of you guys, was a description of the Baltimore Ravens last year. Yeah. They got a hell of a defense, but I can't trust Lamar Jackson in the playoff against Phillip Rivers. It's exactly what I just said. They are the Ravens of last year.
Well, there you said Phillip Rivers there. That's a team we haven't mentioned yet, and the Chargers were a team that we thought might be a real contender at the top. They were one of the best teams last year. Coming in, we thought they were going to be another elite level team. We didn't mention them in the Contenders, Guru, and I know that you love the Los Angeles San Diego Chargers.
I love everything about them. But think about the Chargers. Their season, just like the Seahawks, they don't really start playing until after Halloween. You know, like they're late. I call them the late bloomers, man. When it comes down to the come down, that's when they start playing. So Phillip Rivers, they have historic bad start. This is normal, in my opinion, for the San Diego / Los Angeles Chargers. But they have a rash of injuries, obviously, that happened this year in the Melvin Gordon situation that didn't help. Obviously, with the blood clot as well with Russell Okung. So there's a lot of uncertainties that happened early in the season. But towards in the middle and the later part of the season, when everybody else come back, that's when you're going to see the Los Angeles / San Diego Chargers really showcase as them being a top tier level contender in this AFC.
Now, Alameda, before we go on this, I want to ask you, people there don't consider this isn't an LA team yet, right?
No. I mean, LA, when you think of LA, you think big, bright lights. And for me, not yet, bro.
No.
Not yet.
Nah, even in San Diego, they didn't have the big bright lights. But
exactly.
What do you think? Is this team the contender pretender? They got a chance to really make a run at this, or are we looking at a lost year in?
I mean,
the
what
soccer
you were
stadium.
saying, okay, they may turn it on after Halloween, but for me, Phillip Rivers, I don't know. It's just personal preference. He can get the job done, and this team, no matter how much talent they have on this team, something's going to go wrong, and they will not get it done. Phillip Rivers, how many times has he been in the Super Bowl? How many? Zip.
Not has been any.
Zip. In his whole career, Phillip Rivers has been 0 times. I just don't see this team getting it done.
Now, to be fair, he played on San Diego also.
And he got to go against Tom Brady now. I mean, just to be fair.
So it's not going to happen. They lost to the Broncos. This Broncos team was reeling.
That's a fair point.
They started playing at home.
Yeah. Okay.
And they got completely outplayed.
Enough said on that. I agree with that entirely. Okay, so then I got 2 more names I want to bring up here before we move to the NFC that we haven't talked about. One that we thought might be a real team in the beginning of the season, and one that's proving that they might be a real team anyway, and that's the Browns, who are falling off at everybody's stock board, and then the Raiders, who are finding themselves back in a discussion in the way that nobody would have predicted when we were all laughing hysterically at Hard Knocks this summer. So talk about these 2 teams, Guru. The Browns and the Raiders going in different directions.
Yeah, the Browns are exactly who I predicted they were.
Exactly.
It's going to be a tough stretch in the beginning. I predicted this. This is kind of normal.
It's been the beginning for 25 years.
It's going to be a tough stretch right now.
It's been tough 2 decades.
As you see this scheduling, it's going to get a little bit easier.
The schedule is bad.
It's going to get towards the end for him. It's going to get a little bit better for him. Like I mentioned, the AFC North is not what we think it is. So that's going to help.
No, and the Browns are a big part of that. This is a pretender team.
They are a pretender. I'm not saying they're a contender. Don't get it twisted. They're a pretender, but they're a contender as far as trying to make the playoff, but they won't make the playoff. But they're a pretender as far as the whole overall aspect of things.
Exactly. But hold on. You're telling me this team's 2-3 right now. They play the Seattle Seahawks next. And then the New England Patriots. You're telling me if this team goes 2-5, then they go into Denver to play the Broncos. And then they go into Buffalo, I believe, to play the Bills. You're telling me if they go 2-5, that this fan base and everybody else, John Dorsey, very impatient owner or GM, that he's not going to go out there and try to be like, all right, I'm going to trade Odell. And I guarantee you, if they go out and lose to the Broncos, because I think they'll lose the next 2 games. If they lose to the Broncos and fall to 2-6, I think they blow it completely up.
I think the first will be
is
Freddie Kitchens.
I think it's Kitchens goes. Yeah, I think they try and hang on to Odell unless he demands to be traded. They try and hang on to him, and Kitchens goes next.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the Browns. Now, what about the Raiders? Is this team for real?
This path right now, John Gruden have votes for Coach of the Year right now. I'm giving him votes for Coach of the Year.
It's insane.
What he's doing with that debacle of an organization right there. This is what the other Gruden couldn't do. That's why I'm giving him Coach of the Year votes right now, because we see another Gruden the other side of the country couldn't get this done, and this Gruden here doing it. Mad respect, man. That's what I'm giving them. They ain't nothing but a 6-10 team. But right now, when we're talking, it feels good to be to talk about the Raiders in a positive way.
They rebooted that Chucky movie this year. They rebooted Chucky himself this season too. What do you think, Alameda? Raiders, can they make a run?
I mean, like Guru said, it's a feel-good story right now. I think this team, it's basically they're winning in the trenches. Their offensive line is absolutely great. I love it. And the defensive line's putting in work. I just don't see them winning any more than 8 games. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
No, 6 games.
6 games. The Raiders they're about done. Yeah. All right, so then let's move over to the NFC here, and because this one is a lot more wide open. This whereas the AFC at least has 2 teams where we think are the top level elite, no one else. The NFC is a damn free for all right now, man.
Yes.
Alameda, who do you like at the top of this one first?
You know who I don't like? Kirk Cousins, man. Oh my god, that's who I don't like. But all right, the only, like you said, it's a free for all. So it's really whoever you feel more confident in. Right now, I'm gonna go with your team, the Eagles, just because I
like this kid. I knew I liked this kid, Guru.
Carson Wentz. I love Carson Wentz. I hope he stays healthy, but
you and me
he
both.
will lead this offense. I think in the playoffs, Carson Wentz, he's going to turn it on, and I can trust him right now. I think they're one of the best teams. And then, honestly, besides that, I hate to say it, I've been down on the Packers all year. I'm going to put the Packers up there just because how they've been playing. Their defense is insane. And I know I don't like Matt LaFleur. I don't like how him and Aaron Rodgers connect. But it's shown as long as their defense is playing great, their offense will be able to do just what it needs to do to win. So those are my two teams that I'd put up top right now.
Yeah, their defense, if their defense is good enough, Aaron Rodgers, to keep them in the game, Aaron Rodgers is good enough to give them the chance at winning it. But, Guru, what do you think? Yeah. Top two, Eagles-Packers is what Alameda says.
Eagles-Packers, that sounds like some East Coast bias from a West Coaster, you know? He's getting influenced by that East Coast media, man. Come on, man.
He sounds very smart to me, is all I'm saying.
Like I said, but this is a very simple situation right here. Do you know what New Orleans Saints is doing with a backup quarterback?
Yes.
They're winning.
Yes. They are winning against so-called elite teams without their Hall of Fame elite MVP candidate, Mr. All-Everything guy.
Speaking of doing just enough to win, doing what you need to do to win.
To win, exactly. So one of the teams in the NFC that's top tier is New Orleans Saints, numero one for my guys down south. You know what I'm saying? And then my other team I rock with, and I switch it up a little bit. I ain't messing with the East Coast media, man. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it straight up to the Pacific Northwest because I believe Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in the entire league right now. I believe Pete Carroll is the best coach in the NFC. Put that together, and I see the Saints and the Seahawks as the number two best team in the NFC currently.
I split the difference between the two of you. I think the two best teams are the Eagles and the Seahawks, and it's a little bit of my hometown bias. But I agree with you, Guru. I think Russell Wilson right now is I think he's got to be leading the MVP discussion.
Yes.
I think if you're having an MVP discussion, it starts with Russell Wilson right now, and then maybe goes to Pat Mahomes. But he is just incredible, and I think the Eagles have the best overall team. And if they start getting their wide receiving core back, and if they can start catching some fucking footballs, then they will be the best team over there. So Let's talk. I like the Saints, though. It's hard to argue with the Saints. They are hanging in a way that I didn't see.
The defense is out of this world, man.
Yeah, really showing to be out of this world. And then when Breeze comes back, he's going to have a couple more weeks rest. He's going to be a little refreshed. It's not like this injury was a serious, owie.
I hate for the Saints to have home field this year.
Yeah, me too.
Because if they do this year, that Metrodome is going to blow the fuck up.
Oh my
You don't want that, dude. So just for that sake, I want that Pacific Northwest over here. I want it to happen right in our backyard in Central Lake, dog.
I think the Packers are a decent pick too, but I put them a little lower. I don't have them as one of the top two either.
Yeah.
So now some of the other
very cute.
They're cute though. But speaking of cute, we haven't talked about the
Niners.
The Niners, who I think are a cute team right now, and we also haven't talked about, and I'm actually kind of pleased with it, is the Cowboys, who got off to a super hot start, beating up on chumps, and everybody was like, "This is the team," and then have run into a rough patch here. So talk to me a little bit about these two, which again, like we talked about in the AFC, kind of go in different directions on their stock. The Cowboys and the Niners.
Absolutely, man. I want to start with the Niners, man. You know, I love Shanny. I'm a big Shanny fan. I think Kyle Shanahan is one of the best coach and one of the best offensive coach in football. He's a genius. He's the real boy genius. Y'all could have the McVay kid. Give me Kyle Shanahan any freaking day, man. And he have a guy. He's a quarterback maker, man. I seen what he did with Matt Schaub, man. I seen what he did with even Kirk Cousins. I seen what he did with a bunch of guys. And I see what he's doing with Jimmy G. Hell, Jimmy G's what, like 10-2? Like Jimmy G lose, man.
Jimmy G looks like a goddamn,
exactly.
like really one of the best of all time coming in.
Exactly. So I believe when you have a competent coach and a competent organization like San Francisco who is strong right now, they're just not quite there yet. I think they're a year away from really being what they need to be. And plus, at the end of the day, I just think Russ is playing out of this universe, and that's the only reason why they won't win it or go to the Super Bowl. But as far as the Cowgirls, typical Cowgirls. Typical Cowgirls, man. What we all anticipated. Typical Cowgirls,
you guys
man.
know about the Guru, and everybody knows
Exactly.
he hates the Cowboys.
I completely agree with you. It's the same exact thing. San Francisco 49ers. They're cute. They're cute. 4-0, okay, whatever. Beat some pretty crappy teams, whatever. I like what they're doing. I really do. Their run game looks great. Their defense looks great. I just think come end of the season, playing up against these better teams, I don't think it's their year this year. I think it's a good start for them. Insane start. And I definitely think if they keep it up, Shanahan will win Coach of the Year. Because what were they last year? 4-12, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think they can get 9 wins, even 10. But it's just, for me, the playoffs, it's not their time yet. And also the Cowgirls, same thing as always. Same exact story. They got the team this year, right? Oh, we got the talent, offense. We got Zeke. We got Dak. We got our defense. Oh, it's a talent. And then somehow, some way, they find a way to lose. They're not going to the Super Bowl. They'll never go to the Super Bowl again.
I love this kid, Guru. Alameda, you come back on this show anytime you want, man. I love this. All right, so speaking of the NFC West, that's 2 of the teams we mentioned. The one we didn't mention yet, generally thought to be at the beginning of the season when it started in all the discussions, didn't come up yet, is the Rams. I mean, now, the Seahawks put an end to that discussion who's best right now, but the Rams are still got to be considered a top-tier team, right?
Yes.
They
definitely – oh, you're good.
They're considered a top-tier team. That's what I'm saying. But the NFC is so deep, my brother.
I see what you did there.
It's so deep. They are considered. But the optics is not the reality. The reality of this situation is the Rams ain't finna make the playoff. That's the reality of this situation because they have an old-ass offensive line. You know what I mean? And they got no running game. I don't know what hell happened over there. They got guys in the secondary that just bites and everything. Boy, you just do a pump fake, man. You got easy touchdown, baby, against those 2 guys. They just got a lot of situations. And I don't really think that they didn't really have a culture. You know, it's McVay. But the thing is not really a culture. It's the coach got a precedent. But what is really the culture over there? You know, they have a bunch of guys, but they don't really have a unit. They don't have like a Patriots core unit. What's the core unit with the Rams? They brought everybody in. They drafted Aaron Donald. They're from another state. It just don't seem core right now what they're doing in the Rams. They try to fake me with the makeup. They try to get plastic surgery, try to give me fake boobs, try to get ass, try to do all that shit. But the Guru like that natural, baby. That natural.
Well, Guru's apparently not falling for the implants that are the Rams. What about you, Alameda?
Oh, man, I definitely agree. All natural, baby. All natural. But, I mean, it's like you said. I think they're just trying to do too much, and definitely the Super Bowl hangover is real. No one understands this. I forgot what the stat was, but I think it was 1 out of the past 20 teams besides the Patriots, the Super Bowl losers. Only 1
besides the Patriots.
Conference championships. Only 1. So definitely they're going to experience the hangover.
And you know who the Seahawks went back to back, by the way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm, exactly. But this team, they played the Seahawks close. Don't get me wrong. I still think they're a great team. But I think teams are starting to figure them out. The run game's not the same.
That's the key.
Offensive line is old, like you said. And it's just they don't have the same pop as they did last year. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, it looks to me like McVay and Goff have not evolved past where they were 2 years ago. You know, like everybody caught up with them, and they haven't taken that extra step. Yeah, they're still doing the same shit, and everybody caught up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's move on to the other NFC fringe teams, contenders, pretenders. Let's talk about your favorite ex-cousin there, Kirk Cousin and the Vikings. Guru, Vikings, pretenders,
hey, man,
right?
There's always a family member we all don't like in our family. You know what I mean? And I'm so happy. That's why we have distant cousin. He became my distant cousin, man.
And by the way, if you don't have one of those in your family, it's you.
It's you, exactly. So in the Minnesota Vikings, it's all the cousin. It's all about the damn cousin, man. One of the biggest heists, the second biggest heist behind Mayweather beating, what's his name? Kirk Cousins stole he's a highway robber. He committed a crime, a felony, called Interpol, called the damn Secret Service, called FBI, called CIA, called everyone, man, because Kirk Cousins just stole from the Minnesota Vikings.
You like that?
Yeah.
All right, Alameda, how about you? What do you think is the biggest heist since Mayweather? What's his name? The UFC fighter.
McGregor?
Yeah, Mayweather McGregor. It was the greatest heist of all time until Kirk Cousins.
You're right. Biggest heist. I mean, damn, dude. We were both high on this team. Vikings, everything about this team, bro. The run game is great. This defense is great. But they played great against teams like, they beat the Giants, beat the Raiders. They played great against these terrible teams. And then what happens when they face a real man-fed defense? The Bears, the Packers. What happens when you face those teams? He literally cries. After the game, after the Bears game, I want to say, he was literally apologizing to his wide receiver. He's like, sorry, bro. I mean, I could have done better. I'm like, shut the hell up, bro. Like, just go out there and perform against these good teams. This team has the makings of a Super Bowl team. If they didn't have a lousy quarterback like Kirk Cousins, he needs to start showing up.
You like that? I agree entirely, man. And I was always on the side as an Eagles fan. I was like, you want to pay Kirk Cousins, you fucking pay Kirk Cousins. It's the same way I'm with Dak. You want to pay Dak, you pay Dak. I'm all for it. Jerry, give him all the money down there right now. Pay the man. Give him everything. Okay, so another NFC team that we thought things that are different now is the Panthers, and I got to tell you, I'm a little high on the Panthers right now. What they're doing down there with the backup quarterback, and Christian McCaffrey is having a kind of year that. Speaking of MVP discussions,
man, what is going on?
He's got more yards than the Jets.
Man, what's going on down there, man? It's the great white hype over there, man. We got the dude talking about white man can't jump, McCaffrey jumping over people. I'm like, what's going on over there? Kyle coming over and taking over Cam Newton. What's going on over there? Carolina, man. All I see is all the great white hype, but I'm loving that shit, man. I'm loving that shit. I'm sipping on that not that Kool-Aid, that Grey Poupon. You know, with Cam it was Kool-Aid, but I'm sipping on that Grey Poupon, man. I'm loving that shit. But you know what? I don't love it that much, man. You know, I like you, McCaffrey. You are my offensive player of the year to this date right now. Outstanding, man. He's if Marshall Faulk was white, he will be Christian McCaffrey. Straight up. If Marshall Faulk were white, that's who he will be, man. That's identical, man. I love seeing McCaffrey, man. But the Panthers, I love the coach. They have a great staff, man. They really have a professional coaching staff in Carolina. And I'm happy Cam is not there, so then the staff can really shine. Norv Turner is a beast. Norv Turner should be in the Hall of Fame of offensive coordination. You know what I'm saying? Forget coordinator. He should be an offensive coordination and Hall of Famer. That's how great Norv Turner is. Ron Rivera
He's so good you got to add 2 or 3 more letters to it.
Exactly. You know when you got to add to the names, that's when you know you're a Hall of Famer. You know? And Ron Rivera is a very, very brilliant defensive mind, bro. So it's like now you see with the lack of deficiency of Cam gone, and now you see what the offenses really do. The offense have talent. And I'm happy to see that, but the talent ain't good enough to do anything. But I'm happy to see that, though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for me, I'm definitely the same exact thing. I'm happy to see it. Without Cam, they're playing great. Even with Cam, he was hindered, obviously, his injuries. But they're playing great right now. Just playoff time, I don't see it happening. McCaffrey, man, oh my God. This man, he's playing great. I hope he keeps it up. This white man, this white running back, like, holy shit, dude. Oh my
Fire,
God.
dude. Fire. I'm
I
like, somebody
know.
drug test this guy, man.
I
No
know.
joke. He has
But-
more yards than the Jets this year.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I love what they're doing right now, but obviously come playoff time, it's another good feel-good story.
Yeah.
Are they going to make the playoffs, though? Or
Playoff?
Playoffs?
You talking playoffs?
Playoffs, something different.
In
man.
my opinion,
Different
that sucked.
All right, so let's before we get out of here on this topic, then, Guru, we got to brass tacks it. I want to hear both of you. The best team right now. If you're picking the Super Bowl matchup right now, who are you picking in the Super Bowl based on what we've seen through the first part of the season? Alameda, I want to start with you. Who are you picking so far this year? Best AFC team, best NFC team. Who are the Super Bowl contenders from what you've seen?
This is tough, bro. NFC, like I said, I don't know. I want to go with the Eagles, bro. So right now, okay, Eagles or Seahawks? Seahawks, I just think, like you said, Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, they've been there before. They've done it. They're battle tested. They'll win the close games. It's Eagles or Seahawks. Oh man, it's a tough decision. I'm gonna go Eagles versus Patriots rematch of the Super Bowl. I'm still picking the Patriots to win that though.
You know what?
Patriots,
If it's Eagles Patriots again, I'm picking the Eagles again. So Eagles Patriots, he's taking the Pats over the Chiefs and he's taking the Eagles over the Seahawks. Guru, what do you got?
Man, I'm gonna shut the world for this because we're just making it. Alameda, don't worry, just for now because there are gonna be some big time trades for me to make some decisions. I gotta rearrange decisions because I foresee some trades happening like Jalen Ramsey or like AJ Green and people like that. So right now, my AFC team without no trade, anything like that. I love the Houston Texans, and I think the Texans are going to Kansas City, and they're going to beat the Chiefs this Sunday. That's Guru's lock of the week.
Wow.
I like the Texans. I think Russell Wilson of the AFC is Deshaun Watson. Yes, Mr. Watson. And you know what? I see it. Damn, Mr. Watson is going to play the real Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl. I see Houston, baby, y'all don't have a problem. Y'all going to go to the Super Bowl versus the Seattle Seahawks with Russ solidifying himself as the best player in football. End of Brady. It's all about the Russell Wilson era, and he's going to start it this year.
Once again, I'm splitting the difference, and I'm taking another rematch. I like Patriots, and I like the Seahawks in the Super Bowl right now. If I'm picking right now, that said, if you make me pick, I'm picking the Eagles to win it all one more time. If we can stay healthy, we can get Deshaun Jackson back. That is the team to beat. I just figure that on a situational basis, I like Russell Wilson. I don't want to bet against that guy. So I'll take if the game's in Philly, I'll take the Eagles. If it's
they play this year.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, in the playoff game, if they play in,
the winner of that game is probably going to decide where the game is going to be.
Could be actually, and that depends on where it is. I'll take the home team to come out of that matchup, and I got to take the Patriots. I don't believe in Andy Reid, and I
believe in Deshaun.
And I don't believe in Deshaun.
He plays Belichick tough.
And there it is, our quarter pole turn for the NFL here with our man Alameda Views. Alameda, thanks for joining us. You can find him on Instagram at Alameda_views. Alameda_views. All right, our thanks to Alameda of Alameda Views. Go find him, Instagram, Alameda_views. And our apologies to him. We dropped the call there right at the end and lost him just as we were finishing the segment anyway. So our apologies to him. Go find him on Instagram. He's your favorite 17-year-old sports blogger. He's great. I love him. We're going to have him back, Guru. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Hopefully they can still sign that permission slip for us, man.
Right, we'll have to make sure we don't call him so late next time. All right, so speaking of calling late, let's give a call back to the East Coast here and talk to our man, the Almanac, for the campus check-in, our week at college sports. We're going to talk a little college football. He's got his dogs of the week, and of course, we're going to get the Almanac Top 10 poll. Guru, let's talk to the Almanac. Back on Trash Talk Radio for the campus check-in with our man, the Almanac. As always, calling us from deep in the heart of college country in the South. Always keeping his eye on the college sports for us. Almanac, welcome back to Trash Talk Radio, man.
Yeah, man. How's it going, fellas? It's been a while. I missed you guys last week, but it's a big weekend coming up this weekend. I'm excited to talk about it. So
yeah, we missed us too last week. So don't worry about it. But hey, I understand you're sick tonight, so we're just gonna have
the flu game, baby. Almanac, baby, playing the flu game.
Now, here's what you need to know about Almanac's dedication. He's sick. It's his flu game. Not only that, but he's checking in from 3 hours in the future for us here, staying up late to make sure to get this info out for us. So, Almanac, we really appreciate you here. We'll try and move this along so you can get some sleep. You know what I mean?
no problem, man. No problem. Let's do it. I'm still ready.
All right, but as you said, it is a big weekend here, so we had to make sure we got we checked in with you. This is some big games, including the Red River rivalry, and I know a big game for you, the LSU Florida game. So, talk to me about this weekend.
All right, so I guess we can start with the annual game, the Red River rivalry. This is always one of the funnest games of each year for me, because it's one of the most unique games every year, because you have each fan base, they're separated at the 50-yard line. So half the stadium will be wearing burnt orange and the other half will be wearing maroon or burgundy or whatever Oklahoma fans call their color. So it's a unique looking game when you watch the game visually, when you see the stadium. And it's always every year in Dallas at the Texas State Fair. So, it's fans from all over Oklahoma and Texas. And it's just a real fun game, and they always play it at noon. So it's always, I love when they have big games early. Normally they have get the big games later or whatever.
Remember, anyway, you're in the future, so noon for you is 8 a.m. for us.
9 a.m. for us.
Oh, 9 a.m. for us. Well, for you, it's 8 a.m. for me.
Oh,
well,
man,
this game,
feel bad for you guys.
Yeah, dude, that's a morning one. But this one, I love the idea of the Red River rivalry. The showdown being at high noon every year. That's so great. Just what it implies there. So, tell us about this year's game.
All right, so this game, both teams come in this year similar to last year. Both offenses clicking on all cylinders, and both defenses are leaking like a seal. So I'm expecting it to be another shootout, same as it was last year. Last year was a big upset. Texas, led by Sam Erlinger, they upset OU. I think it was 48-45 last year in the Red River shootout, and that was a stunner actually, because Texas hadn't won a big game, and they were pretty much still down at the time. But they come in this year, confident off of last year's win, led by the same quarterback, Sam Erlinger. I told you guys he reminded me of Tim Tebow a little bit, the way he plays and the way that leads the team. And Oklahoma, they're led by star Heisman front runner, former Alabama quarterback Jalen Hurts, who has been playing lights out football all year. So this game sets up to be one of the funnest games of the year. And I'm going to actually – I think Oklahoma's going to win this game, because Texas, most defenses are struggling, like I said, but Texas, they come in, missing, I think, 2 or 3 starters out of their secondary. So it was already a weak defense. I think they ranked like 126 out of 130-something teams in NCAA, and as far as allowing pass yards allowed. So, and you already the bottom 5 in the country in passing yards allowed, and you're missing 3 of your starters in this back end. And how well Jalen Hurts is playing, I just think that's a bad combo. And I think Oklahoma gets the win. I think it's going to be a shootout. I do think, being that Oklahoma has a weak defense as well, I think Texas will be able to, go score for score with them. So I'm going to say I like Oklahoma to win by 10 and maybe 14 points.
Excuse me, Almanac. Excuse me. Let's see. You said it's going to be a shootout in a Big 12 game. Come on, man. That's expected. Yeah. It's always a shootout in a Big 12 game.
That's what the Big 12's for.
Yeah, you mentioned the corners. I don't even know they even have started corners over there. It could be backup. It could be third string, fourth string, first string. There's no difference in the Big 12, man.
Well, that is true, but normally the two couple teams that you could depend on playing some defense in the Big 12 would be these 2 teams. But that's to let you know how poor the defenses is in the Big 12. The 2 teams that normally definitely lead the way in recruiting, and definitely by far put the most prospects in the NFL from the Big 12. Is these two schools is not even close compared to the other ones, and even then, they're both their defenses are both still struggling. Oklahoma brought in the star defensive coordinator from Ohio State, Alex Grinch, to try to fix their defense. I mean, they're better than they was last year, but that's not saying much because they're still horrible. But I see what you're saying, Guru. Me saying a shootout this weekend it's an oxymoron. So you're right. Yeah, you got me there.
All right, so this is number 6 Oklahoma and number 11 Texas. What are the implications of this game, win or loser wise, going forward?
Well, I think if the loser is definitely, I think they're out of it for as far as making the playoffs because it's no more significant wins that they could pick up, in the Big 12. The Big 12 is just down this year, so these two teams are the only teams that's ranked inside the top 10. In the conference. So I think this is pretty much a playoff elimination game. So whoever loses this game is definitely out of it. Texas, they already had one loss to LSU earlier in the year. So they definitely can't afford another loss. And I think Oklahoma, even though they're undefeated, I don't think they could afford to lose this game and try to call it and make the playoffs as well. So I think it's a automatic playoff eliminator.
All right, that's pretty significant for both these teams then going forward. So then let's talk about the other game. I know that you're really interested in this week is the big LSU Florida game. Florida coming off a pretty big win.
Yeah, Florida they are actually coming off a very big win. Last week they had to play. It was another top battle of the top 10s against another conference rival, Auburn, at the Swamp last week. And Florida, even though they know they had the rivalry game with LSU, the following week they were able to focus and lock it in and able to get the win. It was an ugly game, a lot of turnovers on both sides, but Florida was able to escape with the victory, and they ended up beating Auburn 24-13, I believe it was. So they ended up that springboards us into this weekend. So the ramifications on this game are huge as well. You got LSU, you got Florida, both ranked inside the top 10. Both teams looking forward to trying to make the playoffs to establish being one of the top teams in the SEC. So both these teams, it's kind of a matchup of different styles this year. Florida, they're led by their defense and most specifically their pass rush. I think they're top 5 in the nation in sacks. They may be number 1. I'm not sure. Excuse me, fellas. Got something in my throat there. But anyway, and this year, LSU in past, they've been led by their defense and run game. But this year, they're led by their offense and the passing game. They're led by Joe Burrow. I remember, I think it was maybe our first show or second show of the season. It was one of those early in the season when I had mentioned Joe Burrow being, a legit Heisman contender, and I almost got laughed off the phone by you guys.
Well, to be fair, you are a bit of a homer.
Just want you to know this is
Simpson.
Seriously, you pick the LSU guy every week.
Simpson, exactly. We're midway through the college season right now, and right now Joe Burrow is the second favorite to win the Heisman by the boys in Las Vegas, and all they care about is their money, so they don't have any homers or any favorites out there. So, apology accepted, guys. But anyways, so this to me, this game's come down to if the LSU offensive line can block Florida's front four, and if the back end of Florida can cover the talented trio of receivers LSU has. And I think that those matchups will basically decide the game. And I'm just going to use my unbiased, complete football IQ to pick who I think is going to win this game. I think LSU is going to win this game by at least 10 points because I just don't think.
Surprise.
Yeah. I don't think that conservative style that Florida runs on offense this year, I just don't think they're going to be able to hang with this LSU team. I mean, this team this team is leading the nation in scoring, man, and they're making it look easy. Joe Burrow, this guy threw for 350 yards last week and 5 touchdowns. He said he didn't even feel like, that was one of his better games of the year, So that just lets you know what level they're clicking at this year on offense. And outside of Alabama, I think LSU probably has the second, the second best trio of wide receivers in college football. And I think it's going to be hard for Florida to slow those guys down. And the game is at Death Valley, and it's at night. LSU, I think they're like 50 and maybe 1 against top teams under the lights. We call that under the lights because that's night games in Death Valley. I think Florida led by Tim Tebow in 06 or 07 was one of the only teams to come in Death Valley and beat LSU at night. So that's going to be tough for the Florida Gators, man. And I think LSU wins this game by double digits.
Completely unbiased opinion, Guru.
Absolutely, completely unbiased. Absolutely.
Completely unbiased.
I
all right.
didn't see that coming.
Well, me neither. Didn't see that coming at all. Almanac, we know you got to go here, but let's run down a couple of quick things here. Every week, give us your dogs of the week. These are guys that really showed out. Give us your dogs of the week this week, and then we'll run through the Almanac poll top 10.
All right. So my dogs of the week this week, I got 3 of them. First 2 are going to be kind of unknown, but anyway, they stuck out to me. They had some pretty big performances. The first guy, he's a backup quarterback for Texas Tech. His name is Jet Duffy. He could be on the all-name team in the NCAA. Jet Duffy, I love that.
That's a pretty good name.
Yeah, he threw for 424 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he led Texas Tech to an upset over Oklahoma State. That Oklahoma State team was clicking on all cylinders, and that was a big-time win by Texas Tech. So that backup quarterback, he did a great job in leading his team.
Isn't it Duffy the beer name for the Simpson?
Duff, yeah.
Same thing, Duffy, Homer Simpson. Go ahead.
Yeah, touche. All right, my second one is going to be the defensive end from Michigan. It's Kwity Paye.
That's another great name.
God damn.
He's African. He's a fellow African guru, Kwity Paye. So he had 4 tackles and 2.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss. Yeah, and a big win for Michigan over Iowa. It was an ugly game, 10-3. I mean, it wasn't anything fun to look at. It was like pulling my hairs out watching that game. But that kid performed his sleep off the screen. He was wreaking havoc on the Iowa quarterback. And my last dog of the week, as mentioned earlier, Heisman hopeful, top favorite, Joe Burrow.
Completely unbiased.
Oh my gosh.
344 yards, 5 touchdowns. Didn't even play much in the fourth quarter. Just leading the team to the highest scoring offense in the nation, and leading with over 400 yards passing per game. But that's it, though. So those are my dogs this week.
That's all.
That's right. Just another LSU performance.
Another LSU. Let's go.
The kid is really good. All right, so let's talk the Almanac poll top 10 before we let you out of here of the week. This is where we don't poll the AP, we don't poll the coaches, we poll who matters to find out, and we poll the Almanac. Almanac, who's your top 10 of the week this week?
All right, so I got a new number 1 in my top 10, and I think this team is playing. Yeah, this team is playing better than any team that I've seen all year, including my LSU Tigers. So
I want to hear this.
Me being biased, and that's Ohio State, man. Ohio State to me looks like they've been the most complete team. They haven't had one letdown game all year. Their offense is clicking on all cylinders, and the thing that's most impressive to me is that defense. This defense looks like one of the better Ohio State defenses of the past 5 years. Even though they put a lot of guys in the league the past 5 years, their defense hadn't been ranked in the top 5, top 10. But this defense is loaded with prospects, and they're playing up to it. So I'm going to leapfrog the Ohio State to my number 1 spot over Bama and over Clemson. My number 2 team is Alabama. They're still, keeping up the status quo. They still been looking good. I moved LSU to number 3. Georgia to number 4, and I know you guys like, damn, where's Clemson? Clemson is number 5 this week because Clemson, they just hadn't played a complete game all year. They got lucky to beat North Carolina.
They are 5-0, but
they are 5-0. That's true, but they have some questionable wins. Like I said, you have beat Carolina by 1 point, and if Carolina converts a 2-point conversion, they lose that game. So it's no excuse for Clemson to be needing to come down to stopping a 2-point conversion to beat North Carolina Tar Heels football. I can see if this was a Tar Heels basketball, but no way. So I moved Clemson down. They're my number 5 team this week. Oklahoma's number 6. Florida Gators, after their impressive win over Auburn, I moved them up to number 7. Mm-hmm. Wisconsin, led by the Heisman candidate Jonathan Taylor, is number 8. Texas Longhorns, number 9. And Auburn, I dropped Auburn down to number 10 from losing to Florida last week in the swamp, but they're still a top 10 team. So those are my top 10 teams, fellas.
I like that. Always a little bit off the board. We don't poll the coaches. We don't poll the press. We poll the man who matters to get the Almanac Poll Top 10. This week, Ohio State on most boards at 3 or 4, coming in at number 1, and Clemson on most boards at number 1 or 2. Falling down to, what is that, 5? That's I love that. All right, so that is the campus check-in this week with our man, the Almanac. Almanac, as always, thank you for joining us here, and get better, man.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it, man.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
All right, our thanks once again to the LSU homer, the Almanac, for joining us on the campus check-in. Great to talk to him every week. He will be back, of course, next week with once again with his with the dogs of the week and the Almanac Top 10 poll. This week, surprising everybody, putting Ohio State at the top.
Yeah,
Guru.
Next week, don't be surprised if LSU win if they're number 1 on the poll.
Right, they win, they beat Florida. That's obviously they're going to take all the way to the top.
That's the Almanac poll.
All right, that's right. Polls people important. Okay, Guru, we got a couple more things to do here. We're gonna do your call outs and shout outs of the week. We got the
Oh my God, the heck out of here. Yes, boy.
I had them ready. Call outs and shout outs of the week. We got to do our week 6 preview, and we're gonna do the 2-minute drill, of course, at the end of this show. But before we do that, you know what time it is.
It's that plug time.
Trash Talk Radio and TrashTalkRadio.com, brought to you by the WorldOfSportsNetwork.com. World of Sports Network, connecting the world through the sports we love. Head on over to TrashTalkRadio.com for all your Trash Talk Radio content. You can find us everywhere that you can find podcasts. We're on Apple, we're on Google, we're on Spotify. Do us a favor, leave us a review. And make sure you check out the WOSN.com. That's the WOSN.com for all the other great World of Sports Network content, like the Barbershop Talk Show and the Wash with me and Marku. And some great merchandise over there as well from Trash Talk Radio and World of Sports merchandise. Things you expect, things you don't expect. If you're looking for the Guru, you can find him every day on Instagram at Guru's Film Room. Guru's Film Room on Instagram. It's just his thoughts. It's just his thoughts. One more time for the people in the cheap seats, it's TrashTalkRadio.com. And Guru, what's that hashtag?
That's 10K for TTR.
All right, Guru, with that out of the way, let's do our final look back at week 5 as we always do here on the show with Guru's call-outs.
Oh my God, the heck out of here.
And shout-outs.
Yes, boy.
This is your chance to look back at who did what this weekend and call out the guys who need to be called out for some shitty performances and shout out the guys who are maybe not getting the notice that they should. Guru, let's start where we always do with the call-outs.
Oh my God, the heck out of here.
Who's our first call-out of the week?
The first call-out, man. This is for the first time. Usually the Guru calls you a call-out because not only you fucked up, but you also fucking lost. Your team lost. For the first time in call-out, I'm actually going to call out a winner. A guy the team actually won. Richard Sherman. Man, you over there dry snitching, you lying ass, dreaded ass dude over there trying to put more shit on the baker, man. Talking about the baker didn't shake your hand, man. You fake thugging Richard Sherman ass, man. Richard Sherman, the Guru for fucking up Baker Mayfield's name. He don't need you to mess his name up. Talking about I didn't shake my hand. And you got this man killed because the whole team probably thought he didn't shake your hand. That's why Baker Mayfield got smacked last night, man, during the game.
Oh my God,
Richard Sherman for pulling that move right now. The Guru is calling you out for lying, man, for being a liar.
Oh man, get the heck out of here.
I call him out. I agree with that. I love Richard Sherman. He is one of my favorite players in all of football. Whatever you got to do to get you motivated, but don't do it on TV if it's not gonna be. Come on, man. There's video footage, man.
Come on, man.
All right, who else you got this week?
Look, I got to do this, man. I'm tired of this team, man. I'm tired of this team. I don't even know why we even looking at this team. My boy, the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm calling y'all asses out, man. You had Kyler Murray, a 5'2", 3-4-inch midget, come into your home, man. Come into your house with a coach that I ain't never coached in the NFL. They ain't even got a win. Come on, man. Are y'all serious?
Yes, boy.
And
Yes,
you
boy.
let the Arizona
That-
Cardinals come into the house. The Cincinnati
on,
Bengals,
man.
the Guru is calling your organization asses out.
The whole organization, the Bengals. Somebody had to win that game, Guru. It was just
And I didn't expect it to be the Cardinals, man.
Bengals in serious trouble. I got a question about them in the drill. That team not very good. Okay, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh man, get the heck
Oh,
out of here.
fake team, man. You guys got all pro Geno Atkins, man. William Jackson. Come on, man.
Oh,
The
man,
hell.
get the heck out of here.
One more call out of the week.
And the ultimate call out. This might have been 20 years in the making. He should have been the call out guy for the last 20 years. Man, the owner of the Washington Redskins. Mister, I'm going to fire you anytime I want. Mister, I'm going to pay a free agent that's over 37 years old $80 million. Mister, I'm going to pay a safety that can't cover a blanket. He can't even cover himself up in a blanket. I'm going to pay him that much money. Mr. Daniel Snyder, we are sick of you, man. We need to get your ass impeached in D.C. The Guru is 20 years behind. Should be calling your asses out.
Oh man, get the heck out
Calling
of
your
here.
ass out
Oh,
for
man, get the
being
heck outta
who
here.
the hell you are.
Hashtag impeach Snyder. That's
Impeached his ass.
Oh man, get the heck out of here.
all right. I can't believe you didn't call out Baker Mayfield. Just for the performance on the field this week.
Nah, I was till I found out Sherman pulled a okie doke. He pulled a okie doke,
Oh man,
man.
get the heck out of here.
Shoot, he got Joey Bosa about to kill that kid, man.
Nick Bosa.
Oh,
yes.
Nick, man. Sorry, man. Big brother always get the name, bro. Sorry, he did it first.
I love it. All right, so let's switch our attention here. I hit this accidentally to your shout outs of the
Yes,
week.
boy. Yes, boy.
Who are your shout outs of the week? These are the
Well,
guys.
since we
yes,
already
boy.
talked about it, my first one is gone. My man Nick Bosa.
There it is.
And I ain't talking about the
Yes, boy,
Bosa,
yes, boy.
Nick from the Bosa family. I'm talking about the Buckeye Bosa, man from the state of Florida. I'm talking about Nick Bosa for almost decapitating Baker Mayfield, killing Baker Mayfield all over the field, and for you not forgetting the flag
I love
in
this.
Ohio State. Nick Bosa for not forgetting Baker Mayfield. Oh, you forgot about that, Baker Mayfield. Oh, you will get sacked sooner or later. Oh, you will get sacked sooner or later. Nick Bosa, the Guru, is giving you a shout out.
Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
I see what you did there. I love this. I love this celebration. I love the way it was all done. Fantastic. I love anybody hitting Baker Mayfield as well. I love that too. All right, who else we got?
Man, the Guru love this guy, man. The Guru love him because he's always coming. Return of the Mac, Mr. Eminem himself, the Guru predictor of the NFL leading rusher this year. You remember that, Lestro, and he's making the Guru look good, man. Marlon Mack went into Kansas City and totally carried his team to a victory. It was the Mac show. Big Daddy Mac, Marlon Mack for 29, 132, and just up and down the motherfucking field in Kansas City. The Guru is giving you a shout out.
Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Yeah, I have Mac on my fantasy team. He is having a great year. This year I went highest in the league, lowest in the league. I had a bye this week. I would have been the second highest point total in the league, of course. Mainly because of Mac this week. What a guy.
The other week was Evans. I remember that.
Absolutely.
Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
All right, one more, Guru.
Dude, this was a close one, man. This was a close one. And I had to decide. And I decided the great white height over Aaron Jones for beating the Cowboys.
Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
It was close, trust me. But because we were watching things we not seen, I've seen Aaron Jones, I've seen a Pac-Man Jones, I've seen all the Joneses, and Jerry Jones, every Jones in the world. I've seen Keeping Up with the Joneses. I've seen all Quincy Jones. I know the Joneses, damn it. Well, damn it, that motherfucking white chocolate, man. I'm talking about that white chocolate. The greatest white athlete, not swimming, not named Michael Phelps. the greatest white athlete, not playing women national soccer team. I'm talking about Christian McCaffrey, C-Mac. Man, are you serious? Man, they said white man can't jump. But damn it, they ain't say that's a Christian McCaffrey.
Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
This man is defying all the odds. I can't believe the Guru is finna say it, man. We're like, God damn, that white boy over there killing them dudes, man. I'm talking about he's smoking them, bro. Smoking. Christian McCaffrey, if you pass that barcode test, because your dad was in Denver, your dad was with Shannon Sharp. If you pass that barcode test, then you will go down in history as one of my favorite guys.
He does look ripped this year.
He does look ripped. Guru is giving you all the love, Christian McCaffrey, man, for an unbelievable game last week.
Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
As we mentioned earlier on the show, as literally Christian McCaffrey has more yards than the Jets this year. But the greatest white athlete who's not swimming, Christian McCaffrey gets the final shout out by the Guru. All right, so Guru, that puts Week 5 behind us. Let's turn our attention quickly here to the Week 6 matchups. We got a couple of big games this week that I know you're itching to see and itching to talk about. Let's talk about the big one here. We got into this a little bit with Alameda in the previews in the quarter poll, but the big week this year, a big matchup this week as the Texans take on the Chiefs on this week. So tell me a little bit about this.
I love this matchup, man. I am taking this. This is one of my locks, man. If you got to take this to the Guru's back, dog, the Guru's taking it. The Texans are going to take the Chiefs, dog. The Texans are very, very well put together team. The Larry Tunsil trade. We laughed at Bill O'Brien because he just looked like a guy we just laugh at.
Yeah,
when
foolish.
I look at him, yeah, exactly. I just want to laugh at his just foolery, just his buffoonery. All right, and Andy Reid. They're certainly not right. Obviously, the Chiefs are not completely healthy. There's something not completely healthy with Mahomes and everything else is going on in Kansas City. So I think Houston Texans with Hopkins, with the way Fuller is playing, with Carlos motherfucking Hyde, sleeping on Carlos Hyde, because I'm sleeping on him. If I'm sleeping on him because he's an African-American guy with a name Carlos, it still always fuck with me. Carlos. Anyways, I'm like, why is your name Carlos? But Carlos fucking Hyde. Carlos Hyde is balling. And the Chiefs, we all know the deficiency is defense. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. They can't stop anything. They can't stop anyone. And Deshaun Watson is a winner. He is the Russell Wilson of the AFC. And I will stamp that. And with that, I see. And you all remember that. The Guru ain't joking. Houston, we don't have a problem, baby. You know what we got? We talking about Houston. And I ain't talking about Whitney. I'm talking about the Houston Texans going to get that dub against the Kansas City Chiefs. Back-to-back loss for the Chiefs.
I would put my money on the Chiefs on this one, but I'd like to see what you're saying happen. It's still Andy Reid's season for me. He is doing pretty well yet. Quite hasn't fallen apart. Still finding ways to let let other teams back into it, though. But I will. This would be a good one. This is actually one of the premier games this week. That I hope we get to see. We're in our NFL contract zone. All right, so let's move on to the other side on the NFC. I want to ask you about a big matchup. We talked about this division a lot with Alameda as well as the NFC West. We got the two teams going seemingly in different directions here. Talk to me about the big Niners-Rams matchup.
I definitely love this matchup because I like McVay, but I am a Shanahan fan. I am all about that Shanny, dog. I'm sipping that Shanny. I've been on that Shanny juice for a minute, dog. With that said, I think Shannon's one of the best offensive play caller in the game. I'm not saying he's one of the best coaches, but when it comes to making play calling, I would take Shanahan over McVay. They were both in D.C. at the same time together. Shanahan is a brain genius, man. He's just a genius. The boy went over there and know what he's doing, but like you said earlier, I didn't see him. He hasn't developed whenever they caught up to him. You know, right now the everybody caught up closer than he's evolved.
Hasn't evolved.
He hasn't evolved. So, but Shanny, with that experience, we always know what we're going to get with Shanny. They're going to run that ball. They ain't going to be like the Rams and McVay. So I see the 49ers coming from a big-time win. I'm telling you, the Rams are not going to the playoff this year. They're not going because the NFC West is that tough. The 49ers got a nice running game. They could pound the ball. Tevin Coleman is back. They got an array of receivers. Jimmy G just don't freaking lose. What is people do? Jimmy G don't lose when he plays, bro. It's like he wins every damn time. So with that said, he's going to continue winning, and I see the 49ers solidifying themselves because that defense is nasty, bro.
Yeah, that defense is nasty. I think this is a test game for them. They've had a run in the past couple of weeks where they look good, but they beat the Browns, they beat the Steelers, they beat the Bengals, they beat the Buccaneers. That's their 4 wins so far this year. Those are not top level teams.
But
I'm a little worried.
When they beat them, precisely. They didn't. Oh my God, was this a 1 point? Was this it's a beating? For you could be like, hey man, they're not playing the competition. They're playing themselves. That's what I saw from the results of who they played and how they defeat those guys.
And I see them, there's the possibility that they could be the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Like, is what we haven't seen yet is them take on a real team. Now, I don't know if the Rams are that team, but this is a big test for the 49ers. I got the Niners beating it, though, too. I think that's a better team than we all gave them credit for in the beginning of the year. Okay, one more big game here in the NFC, at least as far as I'm concerned, is the Eagles-Vikings game. And I want to ask about this one for a couple reasons. These are teams going in different directions. We all think the Eagles are one of the top tier teams in the NFC if there is a thing, and the Vikings could be on the outside looking in because they got a quarterback who we're not all sure of. You like that? You like that? That we like that from. However, he has the Eagles number. So talk to me about this. The Eagles have a tendency to slip up in games like this, and Kirk Cousins seems to be the guy to be able to do it to him.
Yeah, man. Kirk Cousins loved the Eagles, man. He does well. That's like, being a Redskins fan, man, that's like the only games I actually watched when Kirk Cousins played, man, was against the Eagles. I don't know why. Or maybe that's because we had Deshaun Jackson at that time, and Deshaun hated the Eagles too. So
hated him.
So that kind of made sense. But
we'd love him back now, though.
I know, right? The Vikings got everything. I am so high on the Vikings, bro. Everything you need to give the Eagles mercy, to give Dougie P and this offense fits. I'm talking about from the secondary, from the D-line. Danielle Hunter. Dude, Danielle Hunter might be the best defensive end in football. I'm talking about pass rushing. I'm going to repeat this. People don't even know who Danielle Hunter is, dude. This dude is filthy. Danielle Hunter is an animal. The Vikings are nasty up front, but yet they are dirty at quarterback. They are trashy at quarterback, man. I just can't trust my distant cousin. That's why he's my distant cousin. Every time he goes against a team of Fletcher Cox, a team with any type of pass rush, any type of competitiveness in their defensive line, Kirk Cousins don't show up. And this is a crucial game for Kirk Cousins because that locker room will blow up in Minnesota if Kirk Cousins don't win this game. And with that said, Kirk Cousins will not win this game.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear.
Dalvin Cook, the running back of the
you
Vikings,
son of a...
will win this game. Yeah, that's cute.
All right, so you think the Vikings pull this one out, but they pull it out on the legs of Cook?
I think if the Vikings don't pull this one out, that means they got to blow shit up.
I think it's very similar, not blow shit up wise, but I think Philly needs to pull this one out too. I think it's a big game, a big game for the Eagles, and I'm leaning towards the Eagles on this one. I think that they're.
I think the Eagles got the NFC East is sorry this year is down.
Yeah,
the NFC North is low. Every team has a winning record in NFC North, bro.
Yeah, but if you're gonna ask me,
You like that? You like that?
The answer's no.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with the Iggs on this one, and we can reconvene next week at this time to see which one of us was right. What do you think of that? It is in Minnesota, but I'm not.
I'm telling you, Sonic the Hedgehog, Dalvin Cook, man. Sonic the Hedgehog, Dalvin Cook season.
All right, Guru, we are going way over, of course, here on the show. You want to get a quick 2-minute drill in before we get out of here?
Yeah, let's do that 2 minute.
All right, here's how we do the 2-minute drill on Trash Talk Radio. This is our chance to talk about all the things that we didn't get to on the show. I put 2 minutes on the clock. I start lobbing questions. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Here we go. Speaking of those Vikings, Stephon Diggs apparently wants out because his quarterback is trash. Will he end the season with Minnesota?
Well, unless he comes over there and play for Russell Wilson, unless he plays for Patrick Mahomes, unless he plays for Tom Brady, every other damn quarterback gonna be trash too, dog.
He can play for Carson Wentz. He wouldn't be trash there. All right. Hey, speaking of the Cowboys, we talked about earlier, are they in trouble? They good against bad teams, bad against good teams.
I mean, trouble to do what? The Cowboys are what they all are, man.
That's what I like
seen
to
it.
hear.
They're an average team and 500 teams for the last 25 years, man. They're going to be another 500 team for another 25 years.
Hey, speaking of talking about Stephon Diggs, Cincinnati looks bad. Will A.J. Green end this season on the Bengals?
If the Bengals are smart, they will start blowing shit up. A.J. Green gone, William Jackson gone. Everybody got to go.
Everybody got to go.
Andy Dalton benched.
I see him bench nothing. Trade him to the Bills. I see him starting on the Bills next year because I'm not sure Allen's the guy. All right, Pat Mahomes injured his ankle. Are we worried about this at all, or should the Chiefs be worried?
Man, Pat Mahomes can throw the ball, man, with left hand, back hand, no ankle, 2 ankles, 3 ankles, man. As long as there's nothing wrong with his wrist, nothing wrong with his throwing arm, his shoulder, he's okay, man.
A chance to win anyway. Hey, speaking of quarterbacks, Sam Darnold's back. Is it soon enough to save Adam Gase's job?
Sam Darnold, man, I don't know what's up with this kid, man. I don't know who's French kissing. I don't know, man. I don't know if he needs some vitamin C. I don't know what the hell is going with this kid, man. But I've never in my years on earth seen a starting quarterback guy. What the hell did he get? Tonsillitis?
Mono. He got mono.
Man, mono.
Tonsillitis. I like that. Then his spleen was going to blow up. Will he be back, though? Will we expect him to save Gase's job? I think Gase has got to be the next guy out.
Nah, man, Gase, the thing for Gase is everybody got hurt, so he got lucky.
All right. Switching out of football over to the NBA. The NBA preseason starts. Guru, yay! Okay. The big story, of course, is talking about China. There's been some talk. The NBA, the most woke league in all of sports, telling nobody's talking about China over there. What do you think of this?
Man, look, man. I don't know what who was the GM.
Daryl Morey?
Daryl Morey. I don't know what he's talking about, man. Hey, China, Hong Kong. I love some Chinese food. Hey, China, listen to TTR, man.
What should they do about it, though, Guru?
What should they do? They should play the damn game. That's what they should do, man. Forget all that politics. This is basketball players, man. You think they don't even know? They probably don't even know what the hell is going on in China, man.
I think they're missing the answer here is to send Dennis Rodman. I think is the answer is they got a basketball player.
Send the worm, man. That's the best. That's the real. If it gets to that level, if it gets to that crucial level, man. I'm talking about we could still coordinate it, but if we got to get to that level, it's the worm time.
He has international diplomacy experience. All right, the horn went off. I got 2 more quick questions for you here. Ben Simmons made a 3-pointer in a preseason game against China. Can we finally stop talking about this?
That's what I'm talking about. See, China loves us. Ben Simmons loves the Chinese, man. Let's stop talking about all this and shoot some 3-pointers, man.
And more from my cares. Markelle Fultz is starting to look like a basketball player. Will he live up to the expectations?
Oh, man, the deer. That's Markelle Fultz, man. I'm happy to see the kid, man. Markelle Fultz, man. Keep doing your thing, man. Mental health ain't nothing to fuck with, man.
Keep doing your thing, man. Hey, one more here. They just made a Joker movie. Who's the greatest villain of all time that should get his own movie?
The greatest villain of all time? Damn, bro, how you gonna put me on the spot like that? But it gotta be motherfucking Jason or Freddy, man.
Well, they have their own movies.
It gotta be. You talking about the greatest villain, man? It
All
gotta
right,
be
fair
Jason.
point. That's not what I was thinking, but that one will count.
Dude, They're scary.
They have their own movies. All right. That is our time on Trash Talk Radio this week. Our thanks, of course, to the Almanac for joining us for the campus check-in, and for Alameda from Alameda Views over there on Instagram for helping us out with our quarter pole check-in. Look for us on Trash Talk Radio everywhere you can find podcasts. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Google. Do us a favor, leave us a review. If you're looking for the Guru, he's there every day on Instagram at Guru's Film Room. That's Guru's Film Room. It's just his thoughts. One more time, it's trashtalkradio.com. Until next time, I'm Lestro.
It's the G to the U to the R to the U.
Thanks for listening.
Ciao. I've seen Keeping Up with the Joneses. I've seen all Quincy Jones. I know the Joneses, damn it.